Hey, y'all, this is Rick. Welcome to Uncommon Communion. I appreciate your joining me either late in the evening on uh, Saturday, the 14th, or perhaps early at some point in the day on the 15th. Regardless, I am glad you're here, and I am glad this day is ending in a wonderful way. I cannot tell you how relieved and how joyful I am that today went well. Today went well. Let us remember we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of God and each other. Wow, y'all. I hope you had a chance to look at my pictures today from the Pride March in Columbus / No Kings Rally. I did not get a photo of the best sign that I saw today, and I saw this multiple times. Maybe it's in one of the photos that I posted. It said, "No King's Day, Queens are okay." I love that. I thought that was fantastic. And before I tell you about my really overwhelmingly emotional experience as I walked the parade today, um, I just want to tell you how grateful I am that this day is ending well. And by well, I mean we got it. The pro-democracy movement showed up today. I just saw from the 5051, they are estimating 11 million people today, y'all. 11 million people. Let that sink in for a moment. All 50 states, 20 countries. They said that something over like 2,000 individual rallies and marches and gatherings. And aside from a little bit of tear gas and, that from authorities in Los Angeles, I have heard nothing negative today. No violence on a large scale, no violence from from the authorities. Just amazing, y'all, amazing. And I didn't know it was going to be this way today. The day started out. I was getting ready to march in the parade, and I saw on my phone the murder of the representatives in Minnesota, and my heart just breaks for them. And what a horrible. You read the details about that. What a horrible, tragic, sick act of political violence, and the spin that the MAGA people even immediately were trying to make on it, saying that, oh, it was a left-wing person, the left, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not true. That is not true. And the fact that the woman who was assassinated, let's be frank, the fact that she had voted for an immigration bill that, was something that the MAGA folks wanted, just shows that she is looking for for to work together, right? Compromise and collegiality and working across the aisle, as we used to say. And the fact that the MAGA people can't handle that is on them, you know. And it's so sad and so tragic. And also today there was, I don't think anybody was hurt, but I believe it was in Virginia. Somebody, a young white dude, ran a car into a group of protesters intentionally. But besides that, that is the only thing I've seen so far. And I wasn't watching it live, absolutely not. But if you saw anything about, as it's being called, T Rump's little tank parade, it was a dud, y'all. It was embarrassing. There's a great video of Marco Rubio, little Marco, as we got to call him, taking a big yawn as these. I mean, it was, I was worried. I haven't seen a lot again, but the little bits that I've seen, I was worried it was going to be, overwhelming. And North Korea wasn't North Korea. It was tin pot dictatorship. And, Melania looked like she was falling asleep. I mean, it was ridiculous. And it was reported in a number of mainstream media, New York Times and others, that people were leaving. People were fleeing for the exits. And I mean, you look at the counter pictures today of the 11 million people and the tons of people that lined up on the route that I was on, which I'll share about here in a minute. But yeah, what a split screen. What a split screen. And here's the thing, y'all. We are just getting started. I really hope of those 11 million protesters that there were many new first timers and many young people. And I hope what they discovered is something I've known for a long time. I've been to not a lot of protests, but I've been to, I don't know, maybe 20 over the last, 10 years, and maybe even 25. I mean, I do like to go to them. I'm a social person. You get to meet people out of them. You get to talk to people. I love that, you know. But I hope they found those new first timers found that they can be fun. you know, they especially on our side, the signs and the costumes and the conversation and the chants. And I mean, there is anger in this country, absolutely. And yet there is also joy because we know what we're doing. We know what we're about. We have a sense of humor. And I'm sorry, y'all, those MAGA people just don't. They just don't. So I want to share with you today what was just overwhelmingly emotional for me, to be able to march openly, to literally carry the sign for the agency that I work for, that I support so deeply. I've shared this with you before, we have values, 5 values, and the number one value is love. And to have 25 of us out there, I didn't get to make it last year. Something else was going on. There was some kind of a big schedule conflict. But last year was just a handful. This year there were 25 of us at least. We had shirts. Here's that shirt, Boundless Pride shirt. And it was big time. And as you saw in my photos, I was able to kind of see the parade as it passed by me, get some great pictures. And then marching, y'all, I was emotional the whole time. I was emotional because of the joy and the love and the signs. And you know what I saw? And you got to understand here in Columbus, y'all, if you're not familiar, we start on High Street, which goes past the Capitol. It's kind of our main north-south route. And it goes kind of, the parade route goes kind of through through kind of big buildings, more kind of offices. Eventually it gets to our convention center. It kind of goes over the highway. And then it ends up in what we call the Short North, which isn't really the LGBTQ plus neighborhood per se, but it is. There are certainly a lot of queer friendly places there. And as so I was marching, and they say we get upwards of 500,000 to 700,000 people. And I wasn't counting, but what I saw as I walked, and what brought tears to my eyes most of the time as I held the sign, which was a real honor to do, was to just see the faces of the people, the joy of the people, the diversity of the people. There were families, there were young queer folks, men and women. There were old queer folks, men and women, and trans folks. And I mean, and everybody was happy. Everybody was waving and happy. And we were near the end of the parade, and it was a long parade, a long day. But yet when we came by, they were shouting the name of our agency. And as we got further over into the Short North and, kind of in the home stretch, the crowd was thicker. And there was a review stand where they were announcing, what the different agencies and the companies were. And to just hear Boundless announced and what we did, and the cheers that went up, because as I've shared, we support folks. We support folks who appreciate it so deeply, and I'm just so happy in my own journey to be able to move in just a few years from working for a Catholic school, where even to have a hint of sympathy and compassion and care for queer students. And there were queer students at that last Catholic school, absolutely. But I came in there with a target on my back, and had I done anything, I would have been run out of there faster than they did. And today, to know that God has brought me to a place where I could openly march with a smile on my face and love in my heart and waving and not need to worry, not need to be worried that if somebody saw me or somebody, a former student or any of that, that there would be any risk because my agency supports it, my church supports it, my job supports it, my family supports it. I am supported. And that is such a good feeling. That is such a good feeling. And that's what love looks like. And that's what I saw today. I saw love and joy in the parade, on the streets, everywhere. And that's what I'm about. And that's what I think today was about, this No King's Day. Because, you know, I love what America stands for. I don't love all of our history. I don't love, but I in love is to desire the good, right, of another. And I desire the good of this nation and all people of this nation. And that was on display today. And I think I got to show that and was so very grateful. Um, as an ally, as a parent of a transgender woman and a father-in-law of a transgendered woman and a sibling to a transgendered woman, a brother to one. I was so happy to support them today, to be able to openly be there. Oh, y'all, it has been a long day, and I'm going to do just a little bit of writing tonight. I don't have a lot in me left. The gas is low. I did take a nap today, which was great. It's been a good evening, but my dog's been sick, and that's been tough. And she's got an pretty significant eye problem right now that hopefully will go away with medication, and she's wearing the cone on her. But she has been very hands-on the last 24 hours. So that's been stressful too. But it was good to be out today. Good to be with you this evening. I want to close, as I often do, with Meister Eckhart from today. And here is what Meister Eckhart, the good a mystic from the Middle Ages, says in the Book of the Heart. So we'll let this be our closing prayer. What you, God, are able to do in me depends on the quality of my life and whether there is enough space for you to act as you wish to do. And my work is simply to shake myself loose of what I think or expect you desire, so that you might find in my naked nothingness enough room for you to be the love you ever are, and long to set free in me. Whew. I have felt God's love in my journey, my spiritual journey, my career journey, that everything led up to today. And today was a very good day. And we end, y'all, I think, to be tremendously grateful. I'll be honest, last week I worried that there would be terrible things that happened this weekend. And you know what? There were wonderful things that happened. And I think this is just the beginning. 4th of July is around the corner, y'all, and it's going to be a colorful, joyful, queer, BIPOC, Hispanic, dorky white dad celebration. And, we've got it. We've got the momentum, and we just need to keep it. So again, y'all, thanks for listening, watching, for being here. Blessings and peace. Be gentle. Be well.